Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Walters here, and today we're going to talk about is social media during a crisis. Because let's be honest, our products sometimes fail, right? Networks go down, products get misshipped. It happens. Bad stuff happens. That's part of business. You know this, I know this, and we can't pretend like it doesn't happen, okay? Because when it does happen, your customers will let you and all their friends on social media know. But also they're going to look towards you to solve that crisis. They're looking for you for answers via social media. So what I want to do is give you an idea of some things that you can do with social media during crisis or crises that you might have to make things work a little bit better, okay? Or at least make it at least a little bit less damaging. And it really starts by developing a strategy. Like, what's your strategy going to be when something goes wrong? Not if, but when, because it will go wrong eventually. You know, like, oh, what do you mean the world might shut down? It happened. What's your crisis plan and the social media plan to go along with it? So what you want to do is you want to get your key team members together, get them together and come up with the best, kind of strategies and responses for different crises. Because you can think about different crises. Hey, you know what? I'm the city manager here in Turku, and we literally had a record snowfall today. It is April 24th. Okay, they got a foot of snow this morning. I was talking to people. It was the most snow they had all year, and it's April. What do we do when this happens? You know it's going to snow. It's Finland, so what's our plan for it? You have to think about these things that are going to happen, but you get those key people together, and you think about what are kind of the typical crises we might face. I mean, you think about it. In your business, you have certain things. So I work at a university, so what are some of the typical things there? Oh, if there is, a bad storm that comes through, if there's a lot of kids getting sick at one time, oh, what happens if our team wins the national championship? What do we do then? You want to have a plan for it, right? So you think of these kind of crises or big incidents that might happen, and that's where you're going to start. And what you want to do is kind of ride up various communications for each of those systems or each of those situations. And we want it so it's going to be a consistent wording and a consistent communication across all platforms. Because you can't say something on Facebook, then say something different on YouTube, then something different on your website. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So no matter where they get the information, they're all hearing the same thing, because that gives them confidence that you know what you're doing and you know there's an actual situation going on. So when you're figuring out the communications you want to have on all the different platforms, that they're all sounding the same, the next thing you need to do is think about how often are you going to communicate? Because you need to make sure you communicate more than once. It's not just, oh, we have a problem. Are you going to solve it? What's going on? Like, what's next? You want to have that out that, hey, we're going to set out announcements, every hour or maybe every other day, or maybe it's like schools. We will let you know if we're going to cancel school by 5 a.m. in the morning. Therefore, you can make plans. Like, there's a certain deadline. And so you make sure you stick to that so people know what to expect, because you don't just want one email or one social media post out there. You want to have that kind of thing. If there's an issue, okay, your package was lost. We realize your package was lost. Here's what you need to do to report it. Here's our next process going to be when we send it to you. You have that there, and then everyone's sending the same emails out. It makes people feel more comfortable. Oh, I'm getting the same treatment as everyone else during this crisis. It really does help out. And make sure you're using emails, blogs, social media, all these things to get that information out, because you don't know how people are going to get their information. You may think, well, we just focus on people under 25, so we'll just put it on TikTok. That's fine. Well, you know what? Not all the kids are on TikTok anymore. Some are on Instagram. Some are even on Facebook. Who knew? They still are on there. So you want to make sure you're getting out to all the different kind of platforms that are out there to help spread that information. And the thing is, you want to have this plan written down so when it does happen, you know what we do first, what we do second, what we do third. Because ask any parent. If you think you're going to get everything in the car last minute, you're not. That's why you pack everything in the baby bag the night before the trip so it's all ready to go. Because in the morning, you're trying to find a diaper. You're trying to find their other shoe. You're trying to find something else. You forget everything. It works the same thing in the crisis with your business. I'm trying to deal with these things. I don't remember what I did. What should I do? You forget. Having it written down, that strategy written down, the communications you're going to send written down, makes things so much better. Remember, President Nixon had multiple letters for when we went to the moon. One was like, hey, if we get there and come back, great. One, if we get there and then we can't get them off the moon, uh-oh. One, if they die on the landing. Like, they had these different things, different communications. You want to do the same thing. And this strategy is something you're doing before a crisis happens, okay? But if a crisis happens and you don't have a strategy, it's okay. There's things you can do. First thing you have to acknowledge that there is a crisis. Something went wrong. we have 1,500 planes we had to, ground today. We had delays across the country. You have to admit these things happen because everyone notices something's wrong and they're sharing that. And if you're not saying that there's an issue, we see it, they're going to think you don't notice. And if I'm thinking, wait, do they not know there's a problem? That's when there's a thing. I know when my students, if there's an issue on an online exam, I'm getting 400 emails. And once I get the first email, I send out a group post to everybody, announce it to all their emails. I know there's an issue, so I don't get 600 emails saying there's an issue, right? It's the same thing. Use that to kind of realize, yes, I acknowledge there's a problem, and we're going to do something about it. But that's the key thing, is acknowledging it first. And then let your customers know the measures you're going to take to fix this problem or work towards fixing this problem. Because they want to know if you're trying to resolve it. I mean, you may think it's obvious I'm trying to resolve it, but no. People sometimes get a little stupid when they're upset or they're in crisis. It happens. It's not a problem. But you want to show we're working to resolve it, and here's how we're going to do it, okay? And when you're communicating with people, honestly, when it's a crisis, be honest and be explicit. Spell out what you're going to do. Be honest with them. Don't blow smoke. Don't sugarcoat it. Oh, yes. Yeah, we have a few delays today. Half your fleet's been grounded. That's not a little delay. Like, be honest with me. Be upfront with them. I need to know, do I need to reschedule my flight? Do I need to drive to Helsinki instead of flying there? What should I be doing? Also, don't be vague, because when it's really vague and not specific, then people don't know. Wait, how long are these delays? Like, do I need to worry about my flight next week when I'm flying back home, or what's going on? You know, that vagueness, it really upsets people because they get even more frustrated because you're being opaque and vague with your answers. And I realize sometimes you don't have a specific answer and you can't give them a specific answer, but you need to do at least a better job than a vague answer that makes them even more upset or more confused or more worried about what's going on in the crisis. Because people will remember how you dealt with crisis. You do a good job, they'll remember and work with you again. You do a bad job, they'll let someone else mess up next time. Because by doing this, you're showing your customers you understand their needs, you understand the issues, and you understand how it is important towards them and for them that this gets resolved. That's going to go a long way to help calm their nerves because you understand what they're doing and what they're going through. And honestly, remember, honesty is the best policy? It works this way too. And the thing is, when you're doing this, you want to keep the information flowing. You're not just sending one thing up, you're keeping updates. Okay, we have, due to storms in Atlanta, 30% of our fleet is delayed. However, we'll keep you updated at every 30 minutes about new updates on the delays. These kind of things, keep it coming, because if you're only sporadically putting out things, people don't know when they need to go back to find new information. That's why you might see we update our stuff every 30 minutes, or the newest weather is set every 45 minutes. These kind of things, because how things change. If you have updates, you want to update people. And the thing is, you might say, well, I have nothing new to say. That's okay. Tell them there is nothing new to report. We still are having the same delays, because then people know that, hey, you've acknowledged that things are going on and I didn't just miss a social media post. Now, with that information flow, make sure you're telling your audience what step you're on, because if you inform them, these are the steps we're going to go through to get things done, letting them know where you are in the process helps them understand and keeps them updated. It also shows that, look, we're doing something and we're at this stage right now. We're not still at the, we just see there's a problem. We're actually working on something. And if you do that and you're showing it on multiple platforms, it does help your clients feel a little bit better that, okay, you've got to handle the problem. You realize it's here. You're sharing the information. Okay, you're obviously working on it. You're not like forgetting about it or doing something else. Because a lot of times these crises, it's a crisis of confidence that the customer has in you. And if you're showing that you can deal with this crisis when it happens, that shows you're a good leader. That shows you're a good business to work with when things do go bad. And the thing is, if the crisis happened, it is your fault, and it's not like a legal thing, because I know apologies and legality is another issue, but apologize for the mistake if it really was your mistake. I know I got a jersey for myself from Fanatics, okay? And I got a Walters on the back. And when they shipped it, it came to me, and literally, it was like 3 inches off to the side. Like, I'm like, wait, I paid all this money for a tailored custom jersey, and it's messed up that bad? Like, even the Seagulls were like, that's crap, Mark. I'm like, you're right, that was crap. And I tweeted at them like, oh, we're so sorry. They wrote me back right away. We see there's an issue. That shouldn't be that way. I'm going to send you a shipping label so you can send it back to us. We're going to make a new one and send it to you. Or if you want, we'll give your money back. You decide. Like, but they had the process as it went through each one. But they apologized for that mistake. So instead of me saying, no, I want my money back, forget it, they apologized for the mistake, gave me those solutions I could do, and now I have a cool Walters jersey that I can wear. And the thing is, that's why you want to have kind of like that process laid out, what we're going to do, What are the standard answers? What are the standard responses when there are crises or there are mistakes? So you don't have one person getting 5 free shirts for a mess up or someone that gets too bad, pal, but tough luck. No, having that standard response makes life a lot easier in the crisis. For all the people that are trying to do other things, it's one of those things you can just check a box and it makes life a lot easier. And the thing is, you also at the end want to show that you learned from that crisis. Here's why we had this issue. Here's where it went wrong. Here's what we're doing to fix that so it doesn't happen again. Because here's the thing, you've all heard this, trick me once, shame on you. Trick me twice, I will never work with you ever again and you'll never see another dime. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? So I hope this helps you have a few ideas about how to deal with social media during a crisis. What are some of the crises you've seen where you've used social media to help you out? Let us know in the comments below and I'll say bye from here in Turku, Finland.